It was fantastic, and it was soaking wet. What is he talking about? So when I was in high school, we started out living in Tampa, Florida. And really? Seriously? I would not clap for that place. Just kidding. So we started out in Tampa, and my dad was in the television business. He was some big executive in the television business, and somehow he got an offer to move to Puerto Rico. Do we have anybody from Puerto Rico? I can't pronounce it. Really? Seriously? Oh my goodness. Tampa. Did we go to high school together? Oh no, you're like half my age. Okay. So we moved down to Puerto Rico. I don't speak Spanish at all, and I assume everybody understands that it's a Spanish country. So I get enrolled in this private school where they teach English, or where they teach in English, so that I could understand. Well, I was a really crappy student. I'm still a really crappy student. I didn't like school. But remember, my father was a bigwig in the television industry. So he went down to take over a television station called WAPA, WAPA, Channel 3, on the VHF. Does anybody know what that is anymore? VHF television, Channel 3. And it was an exciting television. It was unbelievable. It was a local station, not network, so all of the programming was local. And what that means is, like in old-time television, they would have sound stages in the television station. So the lights, the shiny floors, everything. And that meant this place was like a festival every single day. Imagine Ed Sullivan television show, the black and white show, from a long time ago where the Beatles actually were on the show. You might have seen that clip. But then just like dump buckets of paint on top of it. Vibrant Puerto Rican paint in all colors. And it's all in Spanish, and I don't understand, so maybe it wasn't that exciting, but for me, it was really exciting. So I'm in the television station, so my choice is go to school, learning with other kids in English, surrounded by Spanish-speaking people, or hang out at this television station. So I spent all of this time at the television station, which was great. I don't understand why my father never questioned that. Looking back right now, actually, maybe that's why I got such a low GPA, had to join the military, and then my life moved on. But, I'm really sorry, honey. But, my wife. But, so I'm hanging out at this television station. I had this great opportunity to meet famous people. Famous Puerto Rican people and bands would come play on this stage all the time. Bands like Menudo. Yeah. Seriously? Wow, that's great. And Ricky Martin was in Menudo, so I got to hang out with him, right? Bands like Air Supply. They're all out of love. I think that was Air Supply. My son gave me that terrible. And Miami Sound Machine and the Stylistics. And so it was really great. One time Culture Club was there. Yes. If you want to, I will shake your hand later, the same hand that shook Boy George's hand. We can use hand sanitizer. So that's the story, right? Is that I am now not going to school really, just hanging out at the television station. Luckily for me, I think I was 16 years old. My dad is out of town all the time. So I am just really enjoying this life. It's great. No school, television station, superstars. So, but the challenge became that there were so many stars and so many musicians and everybody else that I got to meet that really it just became boring. It was like, oh, okay, Boy George, yeah, great to meet you. Air Supply, I don't understand who you are, but okay. So, and I became nonchalant about it. But I hung out in the television station. Everybody was really nice to me all the time. I thought it was because I was just the Brad Pitt of Puerto Rico or something. Right? And, but it turns out that my dad was the boss, which just never entered into my mind, so there was some connection there. So, but one day, one of the producers is like, hey, Bruce, there's a, and I would do a terrible Spanish Puerto Rican accent, but it would be, I'll do it in my own mind. So, hey, Bruce. It's not bad. So, one of the really biggest superstar we've ever had down here in WAPA TV is coming. And I was like thinking through my mind, who could it be? Who could it be? And they're like, it's one of the Jacksons. Like, oh my gosh. Now I got excited again because one of the Jacksons, it could be Tito Jackson. It could be Randy. Maybe it was Michael. But then I was like, oh my God, it's probably Janet. I will literally get to go up to Janet Jackson and call her Miss Jackson and tell her I was nasty. Somebody was so, but it turns out, they told me like a couple hours later, after this big, exciting reveal, I guess, they said, it's LaToya Jackson. I'm like, what? Right? I didn't know. That wasn't my... So, LaToya Jackson. So, okay, so I went back to being non-starstruck. Now cut away to, I don't remember how many days later it was. This was big news. So she shows up. I'm at the station because why would I be in school? I'm at the station. And a producer says, Bruce, come here. We want you to take care of LaToya Jackson. Okay, I need to remind you, I am a 16-year-old boy, not Brad Pitt, quite nerdy, and how can I describe how I looked? Have you ever seen the movie Wayne's World? Oh my God. You have no idea which character I'm gonna say. Okay, Garth, thank you. But realistically, in my own mind, it was much better than that. I was a twig wearing glasses and parachute pants. That's basically what I look like a moment. So anyway, they say, Bruce, we want you to take care of LaToya. 16 years old. Oh my gosh, maybe this could be fun. So they introduce me to her, and they tell me you will get her every whim, her need. You will serve her in any way she wants. And she turns around, and in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this is jackpot. Puerto Rico is nuts. 16 years old. What do you think I'm thinking? And it's beautiful. And so she turns around, and I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know her. She turns around and looks at me. It's all in slow motion, and she says, hi. And I'm like blown away. That's it. I am now in love. It took that instant. I am in love with LaToya Jackson, and I get to be her servant for the day, maybe getting her some water. This is going to be so cool. What a story for the friends that I barely know because I don't go to school. So the producer says, come with me. You'll wait outside her dressing room, and you'll get her whatever she wants. So I'm walking along. I wish I could do the Garth walk. That would be funny and embarrassing. So we walk to the dressing room, and then she looks over at me. She says, "Come on in." I'm like, "What is going on here? Come on in." The dressing room, and the way she looked at me was like, not even that she was a star anymore. We were already friends. So now here we go. I am going into the dressing room of a superstar to hang out for a couple hours. 16-year-old boy, heart pumping, brain thinking lots of stuff, and blood circulating. So. That's how I felt too. So we go in there and we're talking, and it was incredible. It was like a date. It was well, I hadn't been on a date, but it was like a date that. Again, sorry. It was like a date that where you just become instant friends. And you're looking and you're talking, and we were talking about nothing. I don't think I even asked her anything about her brothers or her sisters or anything. So because of that, I guess she felt really comfortable with me. So here I am. I'm sure she's like, who is this little nerdy kid? But whatever, it takes the time away from the day while waiting to perform. And I'm here like planning our wedding and what the first night's gonna be like, and it's all that. She was 10 years older than me, but that was okay. 26, 16, that is a good match. I'm from Kentucky, it works. Then all of a sudden that part of the fantasy just went away because a producer knocked on the door opens, and they say, come on, it's time to go. So I'm like, oh man, I was hoping it would never end. So LaToya Jackson and I go out. We're escorted by the producer. We're walking through the hallowed halls of WAPA channel. Anybody remember? 3. And on the VHF. And I just felt so empowered. I was 170 centimeters tall, which is 5'7" for the non-metrics. And I'm walking down the hall, and she said, I don't even remember how tall she was, but I was like in that cloud of love haze, that 16-year-old, I am in love. It had only been a few hours, but I was all in. And we get to the stage now, where she's going to perform, and there's all this music and the fog machines and the lights and everything thumping. And my mind is not like, oh, I'm glad I got her a water or anything like that. I'm still thinking about, our future relationship and what our children would look like. And and you know the announcer was gonna introduce her, so it was time. It was there. So I had just that last moment to look at my beautiful wife to be, and I'm staring at her, and I'm looking at her, and then it happened. So LaToya Jackson looks right at me, and she brings her fingers to her lips. And that's all it took. I knew exactly what was about to happen, right? That was just the most romantic, sexiest thing. But her fingers didn't stop at her lips to give me any kind of sign for maybe a kiss or I don't know. They kept going into her mouth. And, oh, hold on, because I forgot to describe what she looked like. She was so beautiful. Have you ever seen like a prize cow?
Yes.
Right? A farm, right? 4-H in Kentucky, you remember? So a prize cow is gorgeous, and the way they chew their cud, it's just, oh, it's so sexy. So that's what she's doing, is she puts her fingers to her mouth, into her mouth, and then now I'm starting to question myself, and out comes this big glob of gum. I'm like, what in the world? I thought this was going to be great. So, but she looks at me. She doesn't say anything. She looks at me, and at that moment, I knew exactly what she wanted. And my hand involuntarily rises to my queen, LaToya Jackson. And then it all just went south. Plop! A big old glob of gum in my hand. She runs on stage and performs. The audience that was there is screaming, and here I am just standing there with a glob of gum. Now what am I going to do? Am I supposed to sit there and wait for her to be done performing and put it back in her mouth? Am I supposed to throw it away? Maybe I'll just eat it.
Yeah.